Hello everyone, it is Briximus Prime back at it again for another Transformers action figure video, and today we're going to be taking a look... Oh my gosh. Let's just start from the top. Briximus Prime back at it again for another Marvel Legends action figure video, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Marvel Legends 80th Anniversary War Machine Punisher, or Punisher War Machine, whatever. So anyway, let's just get right on into it by taking a look at the packaging. I'm so used to reviewing Transformers at this point, it's just a habit, but here's the War Machine Punisher right here on the side of the packaging. There's the nice looking logo right there, got the Hasbro logo. Oh, the days of this Marvel Legends packaging. Anyway, right up front there it says Marvel Legends, it's got the Punisher logo, it's got the old 80th anniversary logo right there. And then here on the back it's got some product images of Punisher War Machine right there, and it's got a bio right there. After the fall of War Machine, Frank Castle acquires the highly weaponized armor and makes it his own. Well, that's very fascinating. So anyway, that's pretty much it for this packaging. And here's now taking a look at all of the accessories included with this guy. He's got some nice alternate hands and a lot of swappable parts for a lot of his weapons. First off, he comes with a pair of standard fists.
There's a fisting joke here somewhere, but I'm not even going to attempt.
And then he comes with an alternate pair of grabby hands, which does allow him to grab this, like, electro baton thing that War Machine used in the Captain America Civil War movie. Only except right here, it's just an alternate part where it's all collapsed. In order to have it out, you have to actually swap it out with a piece of it actually, you know, turned on, and it's actually, like, you know, out and deployed. This could have been done a lot simpler, but whatever. And then he comes with a piece right here where the machine gun has been, you know, it's put away. And then, of course, he also comes with a piece where it's deployed, and it does have a little bit of blue paint right there on the end of the barrel, and it does hinge up and down, and there's a swivel on it right there. The only problem is it doesn't like to stay on very well, and honestly, I always have him displayed with this on, so it's even getting to the point that I might just end up gluing that in there or something, but this is how I always prefer to have him, with the actual machine gun on him.
War Machine without guns is like Tony Stark without money.
And then finally, the War Machine Punisher also comes with these little gun bits that have these little deployable magazines and such. It's these little machine guns. These can store right here on the hips when you're not using them. Only problem is they are the loosest connection you could possibly think of. So, of course, I like to keep them pegged right here on the arms because, one, they actually stay in very well, and two, I like my pew pew bang bang, pew pew and bang bang is what Punisher does. So, overall, I like a lot of the details here on this figure. He has some nice silver paint going across in the face there. There's also blue eyes, as opposed on the original figure that released during the Civil War line that had a lot of red, where this time a lot of those are picked out in blue. I don't know why they chose blue specifically, but hey, it still looks pretty cool. My only issue is that I really wish that this head sculpt had the Punisher logo painted on there on the face like it shows in the video game, because in the comic book it has the face looks a lot more plain like this, but I prefer the video game look where he actually has the skull right there on the face and on the chest. But speaking of the chest, I do like how the Punisher logo is right there, dead center. I mean, that is the big, you know, dead giveaway about who this figure is. Also, I like how there's all these little Punisher logos here for the kill count. They're on his chest as well as here on his thigh. Kind of like an actual, you know, military kill count on the side of a jet or a tank or whatever.
And he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 12, 32. 32 on his body count.
And yeah, overall, there's a lot of great mechanical detail here that kind of reminds me a lot of Transformers, to be honest. And I really do love a lot of the tampos and some of the silver paint here that they added. They even went ahead and added some extra bits to give him a bit of battle damage and scarring and stuff like that across the entire figure. Like I said, little bits of blue to depict some of the areas, though I wish there was maybe more blue, like making this guy, giving him a bit of a glowing effect. But overall, I don't mind it all too much. I mean, War Machine has always been kind of gray, silver, and has darker colors in general, but It just would have been nice if this figure had just a little bit extra going for it. But again, I feel like I'm only nitpicking because the one thing I really loved about this design is not present. Speaking of the head sculpt, I wish this guy maybe had come with an extra head that, has him without his helmet on, like just a Frank Castle head sculpt. And this is the only one I really have from the one other Punisher figure I own. And the only problem with this one is it's not really connected on. It's just kind of resting on there. But also it looks a little too big for him. And so so it does look a little off if I'm ever trying to pose him like this. But it's whatever. It's just, there just should have been better work or more thought put into the head sculpts when it came to this guy. Now going over the War Machine Punisher's poseability, like I mentioned, this bit kind of hinges up and down and can swivel from side to side and is removable. The head is on a ball joint. He can look from left to right, but it is a little stiff because his chin runs into his shoulder pad, but it is there. Head can look down pretty good, but it can't really look up very far, which is pretty, kind of a letdown considering this guy's probably in a lot of flying poses, so would have wished that he would have looked up a little more. Shoulder pads right here are on a separate little hinge joint right here, so they accommodate for the shoulders rotating forward. They can rotate back. They can rotate outward to the side. He does get a thigh swivel in there. Double jointed elbow. And then he also has a wrist swivel and all the wrists hinge up and down. Diaphragm joint right there, which is very stiff, but you can use it as a waist swivel. Little bit of diaphragm pivot and a little bit of crunching and arching back. Hips can rotate forward that far, pretty, kind of underwhelming. Hinge back that far. They can move outward that far. Again, kind of disappointing on the hip joints, and also they are a little bit too loose for my tastes. Thighs swivel, double jointed knees, and then his ankles can move up. They can move down ever so slightly, and he does get some ankle pivot because it's hindered by this little ankle guard thing down there, so you can't really pivot as far as it probably could, so I might go in there and modify it, or maybe I won't. I don't know. I haven't necessarily decided yet, but overall, not too shabby poseability. I mean, this is an older Marvel Legends figure. And now getting into the comparisons, here is the Punisher War Machine next to the only other Punisher figure that I have. This is that motorcycle Punisher that came out a couple years back. Here he is next to the only other War Machine figure that I own, the Avengers Endgame style War Machine. Here he is with another alternate version of Frank Castle, the Cosmic Ghost Rider. And then for the sake of the holiday, here he is with Captain America. And yeah, that is pretty much it for my review on the Marvel Legends Punisher War Machine Marvel Legends figure. Again, so this figure is already a really old mold because it's all the way back from Captain America Civil War, and then they re-released it with a newer paint scheme, and even then, this repaint even now is a couple of years old, and so it really does feel a little dated, but I am still surprised that it still has a lot of really good articulation and detail that still amounts up to some of the Marvel Legends that come out even nowadays, because this was during the time where Marvel Legends had less QC problems, and this was back before the whole pandemic and everything happened, and all the production lines ended up going to crap. So this was definitely during that era where Marvel Legends were really sturdy and really reliable action figures, and so I feel like this figure still has a level of quality that some figures don't nowadays. But that being said, the articulation really could have used an update on this, and also I still would have preferred the Punisher skull on the face of this figure, because again, that was how I kind of get introduced to him, was through a lot of the video games that this character was in. But yeah, besides that, I think the accessories are fine. He could have maybe used some extra blast effects or anything like that, but overall, I like the figure. If I had to give him a rating, I give him a pretty solid 7 out of 10. So yeah, I don't really hate the figure, but he just has a lot of QC problems that I just wish were a little bit better or more managed. But anyway, that is basically it for this review. If you guys liked it, give me a like on the video. Comment below what you guys think. Happy 4th of July as of me recording this video, and I'll catch you guys next time.